in the Vault of Doom podcast with me, Mickey Gemini. I am aiming to titillate your senses, eviscerate your entrails, and keep it completely the opposite of clean, just dirty, filthy, nasty. For your metal needs. So today's show, I have to do the fucking... Today's show, I have the announcement of the upcoming shows, festival shows that everybody has... Well, I have my eyes on and that everybody else is crazy about. Only on YouTube, not here on this. As you can see, there is going to be a watermark on this video on the YouTube, so I won't have to do any more additional episodes or whatever. But I'm gonna keep things organized. It's going to be the show plus the extended cuts exclusive for the YouTubes, except for today's shows. There's 2 shows that come out on Friday. Today's Friday, and there's 2 shows. Those are both exclusive extended cuts. Exclusive for the Friday portion of the show. And only available on my YouTube. And check me out, and also check out my link tree in the show notes with all of my socials, and all my socials basically being limited now to Threads and Twitter because I'm hacked, full-blown hacked on Instagram and Facebook. But there's a new app that I have just published some of my recent artwork on. I'm on DeviantArt now, and I'm not going to actually broadcast that profile for another 6 months. So until September, I have to just load it up full of shit for the next 6 months. And then when it does come out, then it'll be like, oh, there's a whole nother new thing for you guys to check out. But there's some badass art on there. Obviously, if you're a patron on my Patreon and you're donating, you can have access to that. But right now, it's Twitter, Threads, YouTube, and right here on Spotify if you were listening. I'm really happy with this audio quality too on the Spotify. That's why I have to put these out on that. So if you checked out the first episode, it didn't have that. I think the first episode I went to one of those YouTube to MP3 sites, and I just illegally downloaded my own video to extract the audio to put it on Spotify, so it's on there. And yet episode 2 is still missing. So now I have to do the opposite, and I have to extract the fucking Spotify version, episode 2, and then extract the audio from that, download it. I can't even download it. It won't extract the audio that way. That just loads it, keeps it. I need the actual MP file to a picture to have the YouTube complete, to have all the series complete. I just updated all my shit on YouTube too, so it's easier to find, and there's playlists on there, not from me, that you guys can check out, just music that I like. And there's the Lion's Den Productions, all of the fucking indie film shit that I just put out. And then there is the Vault of Doom, this show that you're listening to right now. So today's episode is going to be, basically, we're going to cover, without the YouTube portion. On the YouTube portion, we'll cover some stuff, but without that, I'm not sure. I mean, I can give you some build-up, maybe, or what to expect from it, and just quick updates from me type of thing. And we're already almost halfway done with that part of the show anyway, so it's all good. And as for what this episode is going to be, it's just going to be, just updates on me, what's new with me and what's going on in my life. So I'm working on this fucking album, and I'm working on all the songs. As the songwriting process is complete, I think I might have already said this in another episode, I could continue revising it and all that stuff, but that's absolute craziness, man. That's absolute craziness to just sit there and revise your shit endlessly for years on end. You have to draw the line somewhere at some point and stop. It just is not There is not in any good artist, and no matter what kind of creative endeavor you're doing, there is not anybody in the creative community that has that as an exception. There isn't one, and that's kind of the hashtag mantra of the show. Anything that you think exists at all, there isn't one. Whatever it is, like the Patreon, the thing I just told you about, the Patreon and the DeviantArt profile, there isn't one. The amount of like anticipated reactions that I'm gonna get from shit talkers or low views or anything like that, there isn't one, but there is, however, some badassery coming at you from these profiles, because there's actually a third playlist. Rather, there's actually a third playlist that has a shitload of tutorials that give you everything's just basically giving you an exclusive look at the memberships, and it doesn't stop there. I have to continue dishing out more free shit until I decide otherwise, type of thing. But I'm not too unreasonable or unnecessary with it, so I have a decent, deadline with shit. This show coming out on this day being an example for there being 4 fucking episodes to put out today. We're gonna record this, do this episode, jump onto the YouTube version. So that's it seems like 2 episodes right there. So let's do the math here. Let me see if I can draw while I'm doing this. I think I can. No, I can't. Wait. Maybe it's a screen record one, but you're going to see the watermark on here. I don't think you can on this one, but you're going to see the watermark on here because I'm using this so that it's easier for the audio. Double audio, number 1, being the main thing. And see, I can even make this bigger. I can make myself bigger. That's huge. Now you can see me and see what's going on. You can see me and my guitar and all that shit, so that's better. But it's like, whatever. I'll trade it, having a watermark for having these features until I decide to pay these guys. And when I do decide to pay them and don't have the watermark, that's huge. It's just an instant distraction. Anybody that watches the video, and I can't talk shit about it either. I probably left like a 4 or 5 star Google review on this app. So anyway, we could talk a little bit about apps, but mostly on the YouTube, what you can anticipate for later in the YouTube, if you're watching on YouTube, or for whenever you do decide to go and subscribe and like the videos on the YouTube and check out what's on there. Then there's a bunch of fucking, basically offline anything, not as important as the offline music. As a segue, I could tell you guys a little bit about what you could do offline, from having my fucking shit being like mostly done that way. Just in general, even when I have phone service, I hit airplane mode no matter what. It's just airplane mode all fucking day, so I don't have to deal with the bullshit of interruptions and disturbances and like whatever else may come, and it's just a bunch of bullshit. And the promotions here, the stuff that I can sponsor, the stuff that I can say without my sponsor is being basically just all the content that I just put out for under my Lions Den Productions playlist on YouTube on the Vault of Doom profile. And as I said, the art will be on the DeviantArt on the Patreon. So for the offline music, you can check that out. The upcoming shows and festivals with the shitloads of lineups. It's best to talk a little bit about that right now, considering that I'm not the biggest fan of Mr. Bungle. I know he's huge, but they're just like, they're using the advertisement for the show on Milwaukee Metal Fest 2024 as the main selling point being Mr. Bungle. And that's just strange because I don't like him that much. I mean, sure, he's a good artist, obviously, and obviously everybody's crazy about him and stuff, but it's just not that big of a deal to me. The festivals, the offline music, just a bunch of app shit, and so, you know, basically drawing to the halfway point now. We are here now, officially at the fucking halfway point now of the nice audio version. And you know what's cool too is that I don't know how this fucking audio is gonna be, but it might be better than the stock version, like the factory version of the screen record. So it might sound better, but anyway, for this actual show here, I haven't been getting writer's block. Like, I haven't been getting writer's block. I've been taking this little break from writing, and then I just pick up a pen, and the shit just fucking writes itself. It's insane. It's mad. It's absolutely bonkers that I can just do that and just have this pen basically working all this magic, and then doing the, you know, and I definitely want to bring you guys in there with me to the finished portfolio of all the copyrighted shit, because once all the lyrics have been up, then they take about it's really one day of review, and then they're officially copyrighted, and I have like a legal copyright that I could present if anybody ever takes any of the lyrics or anything like that. And that does not obviously apply to song names, because I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but I do know I did mention. I mentioned it earlier that some completely unrelated artist has taken the exact same name, and then and then there's another artist with the same exact name as me, and then there's another artist who just like had taken exact lyrics as me that I written, and you know it's you know, a bunch of comments on it. Like, I mean, good luck getting me to respond to any of it. That's the whole thing, you know. I mean, nobody might be interested if they can't comment. You know, that seems like it would make sense. However, I mean, I'm just pretty sure this is not one of those scenarios where you could just run away from it and then have everything fucking be fixed. It's not like that. Like, it's not like that at all. So anyway, the writer's block, haven't been getting it. I just don't get it. And I'm even, like, there's even a journal entry where I was, like, writing some shit that was on my mind. And it's, like, in the format that it's written, it's like a poem. It's like a song in and of itself. And I'm looking at it, I'm saying, potential song. I didn't write question mark. I wrote potential song, quotation, parentheses, no, exclamation point. Like, no, it is not a song. It just came out that way. So it's like, you know, the huge copious amount of time that was the huge exorbitant amount of time that was consumed from these last production has set me so far back and really been absolutely nothing but a complete and total fucking frustration. I mean, if you watch this film, if you're interested in watching free indie films produced, directed, written, starring only one person the entire time, with the exception of one or two other people here and there, you will be witnessing somebody lose you will be witnessing me lose my mind, and then not only that, not even talking about it. Not even talking about it except for right now. I'm talking about it right now. Like, I lost my fucking mind making that film. That 4-part fucking film with like 7 deleted scenes and some bullshit, laughable fucking credit reel, considering there was nobody at all that had any fucking part to do in it whatsoever. So it's obviously something. I just don't give a fuck what it is, because it has set me back from something that I was doing. And it's starring some of my shit. It's featuring some of my work. It's featuring some of the stuff that I've been throwing away, and like throwing little breadcrumbs along the whole way, like Hansel and Gretel. I'm just like, here, take this or whatever. Just just fighting and fending off like a barrage of demons, like fucking, like just being swarmed and attacked by like a barrage of demons, and just fucking, you know, the best way to express this is in the music itself. But you know, I'm saying to myself today, as I'm writing the show notes or whatever and all this shit, and then, you know, working on my social profiles, and then making a tweet. If you guys have been following me on Twitter, there's been people every single day following me on Twitter, and they check out and like my stuff. But if there's something on there that I'm doing specifically for this month, and I'm saying to myself, well, you know, it's like when the quality of production that I'm putting out is in alignment with how much patience I'm willing to put in, because the patience is there, everything's there, literally everything and some is fucking there, and it's ready, and it's waiting in fucking moist anticipation to be brought into existence, and it's going to be fucking epic and fantastical. And at the same time, it's just going to be some absolute fucking noise. Just unbearable, fucking insufferable fucking noise. And that is what you can anticipate for the upcoming fucking YouTube video, or upcoming in the YouTube video if you're watching on YouTube, or in the upcoming fucking whenever you're going to watch it. Or switch from Spotify to go to YouTube to check it out, or just and in this upcoming project, in this upcoming solo project that I'm stoked and pumped to fucking work on, and other than the offline music, showing you guys what to do there, and other than the upcoming festivals, I do want to talk real quick about a little bit about the monetizing of the YouTube. And then, like, giving thanks to some of the artists that can have receive your money and have your appreciation be shown with money that you send them. Like that was easy. That was simple. I can upload. I can add my card onto my YouTube and my Google profile, and then send the artist some money through that, and then also pay YouTube for whatever. And then when all the standards have been under compliance, then I can receive money. You know, you need a certain amount of followers, and you need a certain amount of views and subscribers. It's viewers, followers, subscribers. Viewers and subscribers aren't followers on YouTube. Viewers and subscribers are required, as well as video amounts. Like the amounts of video you're putting out, the amounts of people watching and subscribing your videos makes it so that you could set up your debit card, have them send you money the same way I'm sending them money. So there's nothing to do with monetizing. With the thing I keep fucking telling people on the monetizing on the AdSense, Google Ads used to be called Google AdSense. I bailed on that shit because I didn't want the fucking ads on my videos back when I was getting thousands of hits on my old ass fucking young ass wild ass fucking version of the show that was just this thing that I was doing. And then they said you can't go back now for I can't even remember if it was a certain amount of time or not, but when I tried to go back, it's all this confusing fucking bullshit. And aside from having Twitch subs and getting that arranged and that set up and getting my debit card into that, it's the same thing. You need to have a certain amount of subscribers, and a certain amount of views and a certain amount of videos up for each of these platforms before you can receive money. But having to check this out on the ad thing, and then it's all confusing, and then getting all of these things in alignment, not even possible, man. Not even fucking possible at all. It's the same fucking thing as this last production I did. So not only am I trying to fucking do this whole thing on my own, I've been sitting here trying to do it on my own for so fucking long. I don't know how the fuck I'm supposed to possibly ever crawl out of that fucking hole and find somebody to fucking work with me on this. You know, as I have been trying. I've been trying to just even have just a simple casual fucking guest appearance on the show is not even a fucking realistic thing at this point. as I'm going 5 episodes in here, with this being the 5th episode, and this 5th episode drawing to a close. So with all the profiles as fucking in alignment as they can be, especially with the names, I'm needing to have the fucking, everything starting with the same fucking name, and then that's good. It's like, it's just the same all the way through. And at the same time, though, I don't have to even worry that much about it, because the link tree is all set up. And the link tree is not only all set up, it is connected to my PayPal, that I'm not sure if it's available on the site. I'll have to preview it and check it out and see if you can send me money on PayPal, with the PayPal getting the money to my debit card, so I can actually take a debit card, put it into an ATM machine, push buttons, and walk out with money. It's kind of like the whole thing. Getting from the starting here, it's not that big of a fucking deal at all. Don't let any of this fucking discourage you at all. Fucking go for it and give no fucks at all. That's what the fuck I say. So then, as for the next fucking version of this episode, this is episode 5 here. If you're listening on Spotify, you will not get the whole experience. Pop on down to the YouTube, check it out with the fucking other shit. We're going to talk about offline music, and I'm going to show you what you can do on that, and you can check out what I'm listening to. And then there's going to be some badass festivals, and yeah. So, one other thing too that you're also not going to get on the Spotify experience, and you will get on the YouTube, is you can check out these. I'm gonna browse around and poke about on these little extra features I got with this project that I'm working on. I'm pretty stoked about having, installing new add-ons and things like that. So fucking catch you guys later, man. This has been the Vault of Doom podcast, hosted by me, Mickey Gemini. Welcome back to the Vault of Doom. I am your host, Mickey Gemini. This is the Extended Cuts episode 5.5, and we're going to check out offline music. So it looks like I'm having glitches on my Spotify a lot with this shit, man. It always fucks up on these random ass times, but I listen to this podcast often. It's Scars and Guitars, made by Andrew McKay Smith. An Australian journalist who has put out an entire book about all of the Cradle of Filth members, ex-Cradle of Filth members. Nobody that's currently in it. But everybody that's been previously in the band is just like, oh, he's got a whole book about it. It's from all the interviews and all the, and then there's this one I have to check out again from Sarah Jezebel Deva of Ex Cradle Filth, 4 hours. And, everything from Spotify you can download by clicking right here. So that's where you can get interviews, and then sometimes he'll show clips with permission of the songs. He'll play a song or two. But as for the other stuff, let me see here, that this guy puts out, he's got new music shows for a month, like once a month. So there's August, September being the last one. Wait, let me see. I think it's actually, I thought he had October, but it looks like August and then September right here. So it doesn't have October, but it's September of last year. And there's some of Duro, where you might have seen the other downloaded podcast from her with just an absolute a huge description of the bands he's putting on there. Like, there's all these different kinds. There's these let's see here. This is death doom metal, metalcore, progressive metal, so it's prog, death metal. Some of these bands I have heard of and some of them I have not, like Grave Thorn, not to be confused with Grave Worm from Italy. Go Ahead and Die, death metal, but they have a blend of punk and thrash, as it is described here. But Go Ahead and Die is still pretty death metal. Doesn't say that, though. Suffocation and Obscura, we all like them. Cryptopsy, yep, we like them. Tesseract Counterfex, Job for a Cowboy. They just put out a bunch of those reviews, and everybody talking about Moon Healer from Job for a Cowboy. It's just what you would expect from them and their awesomeness. Just all this cool stuff. And then the music discovery, global music discovery that was on my page, I just took those down. So if it comes down to it and I redo those, then I could put it out again, or something like that. But there's also some new Stained on here, the song on there by them, and then there's another one by them on the either August or one of the other previous new metal shows. It's new music show, rather. Same thing. It's that one says. So I was actually listening to some of that, so it's not going to show me how long it is. But here's the July one. It says played. If I mark unplayed, it should tell me how long it is. So yeah, 4 hours. Also 4 hours of some new music from there. And this is all stuff you can get offline. Like, even if you don't have phone service, or if you fly a lot, or if you travel a lot through the mountains and where places that you can't get, places that your phone can't get signal, and you need offline, check this guy out. I'm actually 24 minutes out from this one that I'm listening to by Duro, because her voice is just, I'm listening to her podcast and she's actually European. So that was an interesting thing, because I just thought for some reason she was American, like the way that she looks, but it makes sense. She does have that kind of different look that European people generally have. So she just has that strong European accent. I don't know. Let's read description here. It says, in this interview, we delve into aspects of Daryl's musical journey. We discuss her latest album, Conquerors, Forever Strong and Proud, and whether she ventured into any new territories in its creation. Additionally, we explore her collaboration with Rob Halford on the Judas Priest classic, Living After Midnight, the possibility of an Australian tour, and her connection with guitarist Bill Hudson. Daryl shares insights into the musicians who contributed to the album and recalls memorable interactions with her devoted fans. She also sheds light on her pre-performance rituals and any creative outlets beyond music. We touch on her enduring motivation in the music industry and how she handles controversy and criticism. Daryl talks about navigating the complexities of staying true to her art in the age of social media. Finally, she shares her memories of Lemmy, one of her dear friends. That's cool. She was friends with Lemmy from Motorhead. So, yeah, there's a bunch of great content you can get online from Spotify. Now let's navigate on down over here to YouTube. If you have YouTube Premium, you can also get everything on your offline fix right here. This is what I'm listening to here. I used smart downloads on this, and it seems to have them separated too, so I don't have to worry about which ones I did and did not. It's like, here it is. So this is just automatically ones did. And then it's album, and then a single from this. I was checking out this video here. It's sick. It's just like a bunch of melting flesh and like skeletons being like raised up in some way. Some pretty fucking necromantic shit. And then with these guys having, it says aborted Vault of Horrors. Like, hearing about aborted, I think it's just your traditional death metal, and I would check it out here, but this is going on the YouTube, and they're sticklers about all the copyright issues. I don't even know if Spotify is, or any of the other platforms, but just generally speaking, there's, even when you put the disclaimer nowadays, you used to not have that issue if you put the disclaimer, and there are ways around it that I haven't found out yet, but all this stuff and these little bugs that I'm tweaking through on these episodes to figure everything out is going to be adding that on to the list of things to do, where I have to be able to fucking share some of this music. I mean, there was a whole series of morning music videos that I put up where even if it says copyright, I can still put the stuff out. I can still put the videos out, and it just says copyright for some reason. And they're not marking and they're not keeping like any kind of amount of copyright that before you get banned or something like that. It's just something I'll be careful about. And then whenever it is that I can figure out how to get everything going here to share the music, share the actual music legally, then I'll do that. But with what you just saw on Spotify with the new music show, that's just like one example of stuff you can do. I mean, it can't, and it can be done. You do it, and these are, let's see here. So it's aborted from aborted. If you see right here, it's this In the Woods stuff from. That's a whole channel where the guy is making, I think In the Woods is making that. And Debemer Morty Productions is producing, and that's another verified account. These are all verified accounts. Are producing the music for are distributing the music for Ulcerate, that video with the melting flesh that I was talking about. And I was mentioning in the first part of this episode, this is part 2 of the same episode, 5.5. You're watching episode 5.5 with me, Mickey Gemini, and I forgot the theme song. Alright, so I was talking a little bit in the last episode about the source of all of my black metal, man. I go straight to Black Metal Promotions. Black Metal Promotion YouTube channel has premieres. This was a full album premiere yesterday of Corpus Diavolis, Elixir Ecstasis. And it's a whole album fucking premiere, man. And I was watching one earlier, I watched one yesterday. I watch all their premieres and chat with the guys, and they always say hello and introduce themselves and all this shit. It's the place to fucking be. So moving on along here, this is just what I'm jamming out to now. So Skoger, I didn't mention them, but they're pretty badass. Whispers of Ancient Spells is last week's premiere. I just happened to need that for my fix when I was listening to it. And now I'm just like, all right, well, it's a pine tree and a pond in a black and white photo, good enough. And then and it's just your what you need, man. That's what you need. You need this, and then for the other shit here, Aborted, it's like, if it's just some death metal, I'll give it a chance, man, but I'm not gonna fucking bullshit around with a bunch of death metal shit. That's just all anybody's making. Everybody's making in Florida is death metal. Alright, now everybody's cropping up there that's making death metal. Where are all the black metal guys going? Because that's where I need to go. It's like, alright, well then go up where it's cold and shit like that, obviously. Well, it's, as you can see, I don't know if you can see my breath, but it's fucking cold over here right now. So whatever. And then so I'm not looking forward to it if it's Aborted, Bolt of Horrors. But I did see them on some of the bill for some of these festivals coming up, and hear about them through one of those new music metal shows. But that's also coming straight from the channel, so it's going to be, and looking at the colors and the artwork is like, I'm just it's before, like, pre-listening to it, like, all right, 6.5 out of 10, then I'll check it out. And then, but of course I'm going to want to check out Corpus Diavolis first, How to Disappear Completely by Mayor D. Revis III first, and then, my go-to Skoger for now, and Whispers of Ancient Spells, also from Black Metal Promotion. So that's covers Spotify and YouTube for your offline listening. They're doing free trials just like every other freaking app right now. Everybody's doing free trials right now because they want to sucker you in and shit like that. And it's none of my fucking business. But I'm certainly already, going to be fucking making sure my money goes towards more of the promotion myself and promoting my own music first before it ever goes to any of this consumption shit. It's just a new black plague over here consuming everything. That's some fucking shit over here. So I think I was checking out this other one here in the recommended section, but Dark Throne under Peaceville. There's just, there's a bunch of fucking good shit over here if you like metal here on the Vault of Doom. And we're going to mosey on to something that's not quite offline, but music, but it's offline getting connected with your shit, because I'll be on this on the Instagram threads, and I'll comment something when I see something, and then I say something, and then when I am online again, it posts it. So I'll do something right now, just be like, hey, this chick's hot as hell, she's got some tattoos, hey, nice tats, and then post it, and it'll say, usually it'll post, sometimes it'll say like, it's like taking a long time, but then, so it might not do anything at all, but when it does, it's going to say, we'll post when you're back online, or something like that. So that one can go all together. And back on over here to my favorite place to fucking hang out is Twitter, of course, where you get Guitar World. I'm subscribed to fucking Guitar World, Black Metal Plus Legions, whereas the same thing as Black Metal Promotion, just constantly, consistently putting shit out. Here's a Greek black metal band with a full-length album called Ad Libertatum Per Mortem, having something to do with death and cadavers, and they're available on their music is available on Bandcamp, my favorite place to get my actual music other than simply the YouTube's Black Metal Promotion channel. But also there's another one I'm gonna have to show you guys later in a later episode. Not even gonna bother trying to talk about it right now, but there's where you want to go and check out. So starting with here, and then just, Guitar World, what does it say here? For the electric player who fancies some nylon sound with a pick, it's a simple drive and very fit purpose. It's just some guitar. You can't open the article, but you could check stuff out. My Twitter doesn't work that well with posting shit when I get back online, but it's actually, I don't even know that any other app that I've tried on this phone other than Facebook was able to do that. Facebook, I think, was the only app that could do that. So with having a better phone, that helps. Just having a cheap one is not good for really much of anything at all, and yet here I am doing this. So there's, what is this, 1995. I don't know. It's not usually, this doesn't usually say whether this is the day the album came out, but everybody knows Opeth. Everybody knows and loves Opeth. So here's one of their fucking albums from 1995. I mean, that's a really old throwback album right there. Holy shit, dude. And scrolling on down here to Revolver Mag with Baby Metal dropping a big new collab song, Leave It All Behind, We Ask You This. And now, with me being offline, this really is the conclusion of it. There's no other music other than SoundCloud that was giving me trouble earlier, so I don't even have that right now because it was giving me some trouble, so I got rid of it. And there you have it. So all the shit that's happening now that we have to talk about is going to be available on the next, right on down, just checking on right on down to the next episode with all the shit that's happening now, and it's fests. All right. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and follow me on the socials. Check out the link tree in the show notes, in the description. This has been good. I'll see you guys later. Yo, it is Mickey Gemini with this is where we're gonna get into the fucking fun shit here. This might even be really brief. Might be really long. Not sure. I'm glad to fucking be here. Chatting with you guys. And there's motherfucking Milwaukee Metal Fest right there on the screen if you haven't seen. Being advertised as Mr. Bungle's headline on the second day. It looks like a 3-day festival. You know, I like Mr. Bungle. He's got some good stuff. And some of the other 90s bands. But if you haven't noticed, this whole genre right now is just completely and totally run by everybody that has been paving the way. There are some, I see, what is that called? It's power metal. Camelot. There's some power metal opening with Blind Guardian, Camelot, Symphonies, illegible, Night Demon, Visicata, Eternal Champion, and Metal Church, followed by Destruction. Day 2, Hatebreed, Catatonia, Deicide, and a bunch of other illegibles. Except for Heathen. I think I can read Heathen. And Eyes of the Living. That one's extremely legible. You know, there's just a good time gonna fucking be seen here. That's for sure. And I had to even... Problem is, I had to even Google this in the picture and type in the year, because there's just typing in the festival itself last year popped up, and it's like grr, why does this have to happen like that? Why do I have to type in this year? This is, I don't know. And I'm not too happy about the advertising. Everything about all this whole scene is just like, we're all broke. I mean, let's be perfectly fucking honest here. I mean, not that any of us care or should care or that our cares are going to help the scenario. It's just kind of like we're still basically running things around here, so it doesn't even matter that much. But then day 3 here, I'm looking at In Flames, Lacuna Coil, Bleed From Within, and Avatar, and then Beyond Threshold, and many more. Vendors, food, live podcasts, and more. I mean, it's gonna be a good time, you know. And then the fucking place the shit taking place in Milwaukee. That's just a stone's throw, hop and a skip. It's right next door, man. And did I say Death to All? I don't know if I can say it, but I can read that one. So cool. Death to All is going to be there too. You know, a bunch of these bands, you know, checking out these bands. I don't know how you guys find music, but I just did the last episode on how to do offline music when you're traveling in places where you don't have phone service, when you're flying a lot, or when you don't want to pay a phone bill and you listen to offline music all the time. Check out the last episode for that, episode 5.5, Vault of Doom, hosted by me, Mickey Gemini. Next up, that was Milwaukee Metal Fest. This is louder than sound without even this one actually, that last one was from Google when I typed in Milwaukee Metal Fest 2024. This one was actually from the Louder Than Life, not Louder Than Sound, the Louder Than Life website, and it doesn't even have an actual headline saying it's Louder Than Life. It's just kind of like one of those things. It's like super secret, esoteric, gives it that vibe. But this is the much bigger one. I mean, just much, much bigger, considerably bigger, with Korn, Slayer, Slipknot, Seether, The Offspring, Anthrax, Evanescence, Clutch, Tom Morello, Mastodon, Ginger, Body Count, 3-6 Mafia, Skillet, Chevelle, Disturbed, Seven Dust, Dropkick Murphys, Gojira, Breaking Benjamin. God fucking damn, dude, that is just an unsurmountable head-spinning amount of huge names. And then trap metal artist Horror, HO9909, with trap metal on the rise. I mean, we need people that I like. I don't like Horror. I checked them out, and it's just the couple other ones that I like. And then that's what I'm saying, first impressions here. In This Moment's gonna be there. Hailstorm, Five Finger Death Punch. I mean, this is Blackstone Cherry, Nonpoint, Alien Weaponry, Dead Poet Society, Head PE. This is so worth reading. Stained, Judas Priest, POD, Saliva. I mean, Drowning Pool. Like, what? Alien Ant Farm. Jesus. Bob Villain. This is unbelievable. Unfucking believable. So that last one's up in Milwaukee. This is in Kentucky. Louisville. And if you haven't been given the correct pronunciation, it's pronounced Louisville, not Louisville or Louisville. And drop them in the comments which ones you guys are pumped about seeing, because I certainly have my favorites, and I'm interested to hear what yours are with this amount of Whitechapel in the small fucking lettering. Oh, that's ridiculous. They should have their logo up there, but they did. Someone arranged this a certain way. They probably, I don't know, it's probably AI generated or something, and they just didn't even put the name of the festival in there. As I said, probably more of that secret, super secret, top secret, esoteric shit. This is just unbelievable, man. This is just absolutely unbelievable. And for Body Count coming but right before 3-6 Mafia, that's cool. Horror, you know. I mean, dude, this is a monster of a festival. It's kind of interesting to see how you could fit this many bands in 4 days. You know, here it does say that 4 days here, starting on Thursday all the way down to Sunday. CKY, Fit for a King. I haven't heard Fit for a King yet, but I'm just so discouraged when we go back to Milwaukee Metal Fest and I see those power metal bands. I mean, it's like we already have to kind of pay the credits where they're due and tip the hat to people like Slayer, Motley Crue, and Anthrax and Judas Priest, okay? And then you can start working on paying the respect where it's due for Evanescence, Slipknot, Korn, and Seether, and The Offspring. And then you can start getting current with people who have stuff out that's extremely popular, like Gojira playing in front of 30,000 people. And then you can start looking at who are the Eagles of Death Metal, the Oxymorons, who is Brutus, Bob Villain, Pup, High Vis, we've heard Finger 11, Drugs, Mike's Dead, Self-Deception, Silly Goose, Hemorrhage. I mean, checking out these bands is the problem. It doesn't have any meaning at all whatsoever unless you're making the stuff. I mean, I can't actually, I don't even have actually the ability to articulate this properly, but I'll do the best I can. It doesn't actually have any meaning without the people. But, you know, the last show that I wanted to go to was like I bought the tickets, wanted to go with people that didn't show, so I didn't want to go. Even though it's my favorite fucking band. It's like, that's just all it is. Like, it's some fucking Call the Wild fucking go to Alaska and freeze to death shit. when you're writing in a journal, like, oh, the world is meaningless without people and shit like that. Like, it's like you can't even really attach much of an interest or ability to fucking look into any of this shit without having a meaningful impression. I mean, I don't know how else to really put it other than that. But for now, I'll stick to my Gojira. That's who I would say I'm most pumped about it. And Mastodon, of course. Gojira and Mastodon. And then I would check out my Ginger, and then call it fucking quits, man. Those are my top three. I gotta fucking exclude Korn and Slipknot for the time being, and then just like I'm not gonna sit and drink a beer. There's no amount of $55 Miller Lite can that you can fucking sell me that's gonna make me sit through a 5-finger death punch. Like, no matter what his haircut looks like and how good and popular they are, and getting all this stuff. So I have some more stuff I want to show you that kind of combines the two episodes here, as we're still basically on episode 5 right now. Before you get too ahead of yourself, make sure you are aware you're on YouTube right now, and that there is the good audio quality and the actual episode on my Spotify, with these being just labeled fittingly the exclusive cuts, extended cuts exclusive. So it's just like these are added stuff. And I've been mentioning and just putting out there that since I don't have any sponsors, I'm pushing out there all my exclusive content available on Patreon, and all the stuff that's going to be available there for all the stuff that's going to be available there, and then getting an in-depth look at the actual recording process. You can check that stuff out on my Twitch. So the project itself has its own YouTube channel, totally clean slate, and so does Twitch. So checking those things out should be as fun for you as it will be for me to make the shit. And then let's see here. So if you're still watching on YouTube, you're not going to get what's on Spotify. If you're listening on Spotify, you are not going to get what's on YouTube. That's how it's going to be for right now until I can find a good app. Because I'm gonna have a watermark on here, but it's not gonna, and that'll go away when I pay. But what's not gonna go away is that the microphone and audio is not gonna work in both places. So it's pretty shitty. Now, with this one being fests, I'm just getting all this out of the way, while the next one is going to be software and software followed by well, for right now, it's question mark because I don't know. Oh, the feed. That's right. The feed is good. Saving the feed for last. See, the feed episode is going to be 2 episodes after this on the YouTube, and that's what makes this doing this so easy. I can just see what kind of stuff that YouTube or Google and YouTube are trying to push at me, and add my comments there, and just kind of like keep, grooving with how I like it and how I don't like it and all this stuff. Because the Google feed is that news, man. That's what I'm getting there. So anyway, this wraps up the whole 5th episode, and then we're gonna mosey on down here to conclusion for the week. And make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. Drop your comments. Peace. Out. Motherfuckers.